see, I've decided to bring this back into a monthly schedule because I've been only doing them really kind of every quarter, so every 3 months or so, and what happens there is I accumulate a buttload of stuff and the video turns out to be like 20 million years long, and also I sometimes forget some of the stuff that I had been loving earlier on in like the 3-month period. So here are my April favourites, a mixture of beauty, non-beauty. For once there's not really any skincare. Oh, there's one thing actually, but there are going to be a few non-favourites at the end, because when I first started doing this like years ago, it was my loves and letdowns, so I think it's interesting to show those again. And I was going to do one full video on all the bits I haven't been loving recently, but I didn't want one video just like packed of negativity, so that's why I decided I'm going to start adding them back into my monthly faves. And let's start. So the first favourites are these guys here. Now look at the sad wee caps in them. Like an Egypt, I was up in my boyfriend's granny's house and I bought these in pennies. These are the Argan Oil hair shampoo and conditioner from Hask, and these are sulfate free because I was determined to give sulfate free stuff a go again, and I absolutely fell in love with these. They are just the nicest shampoos I've tried in a long time, shampoo and conditioner I mean. But anyhow, I was up in the granny's house and I left these up on the shower top and didn't really pay attention, went off to have a pee, and then in mid-pee they fell on the ground, and not just fell, they like tanked, and they created such a ruckus. I had a heart attack because everyone else was still in bed and the caps just smashed everywhere. So that's what happened there. But these are brilliant, brilliant shampoos. I'm so impressed. Why do I keep saying shampoos? They're brilliant shampoo and conditioner. They contain loads of oils, of course, because it's an argan oil based one, but it just has the loveliest texture. It gives my hair the loveliest texture. It gives it a load of body, which is surprising as well considering they're oil based, and even though it's sulfate free, it does lather, so I'm just in love with those. Another hair thing, and this is something I resurrected, I've actually owned it for ages, and I used it a couple of times at the start when I got it, and now just again I started using it about a couple of weeks ago. This is the Rockaholic Groupie Texturising Spray Pomade by Tigi, and this basically just gives you a really lovely kind of grungy, what's the word I'm looking for, texture to the hair. So on day one, on the day I wash my hair, and you can spray it, but I usually spray it onto my hands and then just scrunch it into my hair, and then I have this lovely kind of semi curly kind of wavy hair with loads of texture, and it just looks lovely and full. And then on day two, that texture kind of just goes after, you know, me messing up my hair and stuff like that, but I'm left with a lovely thickness and the hair just feels quite significant. It's not as fine and limp as it normally is, so I'm really enjoying this as well, and it's given my hair a lovely new look, which I'm really impressed with. And can you tell I'm trying to grow my hair, my fringe out? Now I don't want it to be like long before like it was without a fringe. I just want to grow it into a side fringe. So I've changed my parting over to this side because when I take photos, this is always the side that I prefer to take photos on. So I was like, I might as well just switch it over there and see how we get on. So I think this is the side I'm going to grow it out into, and you know, kind of trim the hair so that it grows down like that. So we'll see. Now, on to the one skincare thing I have to show you, and it's this guy here. It's the Garnier Moisture Match Illuminating Light Lotion, and this is for normal skin. So this just has an SPF of 20 in it. It's perfect for daytime because the 20 is kind of enough of an SPF for me at the moment. I'm not really out sunbathing or anything like that, and it just gives a lovely amount of hydration without being too heavy on the skin, so it's perfect for underneath my makeup. I got this half price as well for like 3 something in Dunnes Stores, which is just a local supermarket. So I'm really liking this. It's oil free, and it just does everything you want it to do. So that's that guy. Then this is something I kind of fell in love with, and it only cost €2. It was in pennies, which is Primark in Ireland, and it's their nail polish remover. It's the one kind of like the Bourjois one, I think, where you just stick your finger in and rotate. That just sounds so dirty, but you stick your finger in and you rotate the bottle, and then, you know, there's a sponge on the inside that is totally soaked in nail varnish remover, and that removes all your nail varnish, and it's just the bomb. Like, I honestly can't understand how I didn't buy these before. It's made my nail varnish relationship so much healthier. I'm more likely to want to paint my nails now, because I used to hate having to clean them off and when they chip and all that kind of stuff, and this has made life so much easier. So this is called the PS Love Nail Polish Remover, and like I said, it was only €2. And speaking of nail polish, I'm really loving Brights at the moment. So the one I'm wearing at the moment is this guy here from Essence. It's their Colour to Go nail polish, and it's a quick drying one. This is in the colour Hello Spring, which is very, very relevant. So it's this gorgeous, would you call it like an acid green or lime green? And it just lasts so well on the nails for the price. It would cost less than €2. So that's that guy. And then there's also this guy here by NYC. This is the yellow nail varnish I was wearing in a couple of my videos last week that loads of people were asking about. And this is Lexington Yellow 294. Again, it's about €2. I got that in Primark as well, and it's just such a gorgeous bright colour. For the price, they're just phenomenal because they don't chip, or like I got days and days out of that yellow, and it dries really quickly, which is brilliant. Now, I won't go on about these for too long, but my Essence All About Eyes eyeshadow palettes, so the Nude, the Sunrise, the Paradise and the Candies. I actually did a full video on these, so I'll just link to that below, but I've been living in these since buying them pretty much. They're kind of like my go-to eyeshadows at the moment, and if you want to see the swatches and all that, just check in the link below, which will bring you onto the blog and onto the video that I talk about it. But all the Essence things that I got in that video were just fab, and these were only €4.30 something each, so the price point is brilliant, but it's the quality that really got me. Then when it comes to foundations, there's two that I've been wearing pretty much like tag teaming all month, and it's the Revlon Photo Ready Airbrush, which is what I have on at the moment. So it just gives this lovely kind of slightly luminous finish, and it's that lovely like medium coverage that I love, so it's not too heavy. I can still see freckles and stuff through, but it really does perfect like tonal issues. And even though it contains like very minute mineral particles that have light reflection to them, it doesn't look very glittery. It just gives a lovely luminance and radiance to it, and it lasts lovely. So I'm the colour Vanilla, and I can't remember, I don't know the price of this because I bought this in America, but I really love it. It's a mousse formula, and I just think it looks gorgeous on the skin. Then this guy here, it's a slightly more matte foundation. It's the Finity All Day Flawless 3-in-1 foundation by Max Factor. If you're in the States, I think CoverGirl has an equivalent. And this does what it says on the tin. It has a primer, concealer and foundation in one. Now, I do need to prep my skin well with this. I need to make sure it's well moisturised. But once I moisturise really well under it, it's just flawless on, and it really does hold all day. I got a good few compliments on my skin when I was wearing this throughout the month, so that's that guy. And then this is the primer that they just brought out there, I think last week, and it's basically the primer that's in this. And again, if you're very dry, I'd skip it because it does contain, as well as the foundation, it contains powders and these little sphere things that absorb oil and sweat. So that's why it's really good for extending the wear of your foundation, but just make sure you're not very dry. So it's great for anyone with an oily T-zone like myself, because that's where I pop it on, and it's working really well. And they both contain an SPF of 20, which I'm a big fan of. Then quickly, there's another couple of bits that I'm loving. This L'Oreal Super Liner Perfect Slim. This, I'm usually not a big fan of these eyeliners just because the nature of them. The felt tip tends to dry out very quickly, but this one is really good. This is what I've used to do my own makeup today. You just get a really lovely fine line. It's the shape and the size of the tip that I really love, and the fact that it hasn't dried out yet. These type of eyeliners often don't make it into my favourites because they do tend to dry out, but this one I've been loving. I've been using it for well over 2 weeks, about 3 weeks now at this stage, and it's still happy favourite. So that's that guy. There is a medium and a fatter one you can get. Then for my mascara, I've been loving the Max Factor 2000 Calorie one. It kind of gives my lashes the look as if I'm wearing like the Ardell Wispies, that kind of look. It just gives a lovely like wispy look and you don't need like loads and loads of coats just to get that look. Pretty much 1 or 2 coats does it. So I'm really impressed with this, and it just has that lovely kind of basic brush that I'm a big fan of. Then this guy I resurrected because, well, it's looking a bit sad and I'm just determined to finish it up, and not because, you know, there's anything wrong with it, but I just want to put it out of its misery. But it's the Sculpt, the Accentuate Sculpt and Shake powder by MAC. It's a pro product, but this is just lovely. I have it on at the moment. It's just my go-to sculpting powder for the month. And then this highlight I've been using almost as a blush. It just gives a lovely radiance to the cheek over the sculpt, so I'm determined to finish that up ASAP, and I have another like fully unused one that is going to replace it. Then for lips, this guy on my lips, I am loving the Rouge Edition Velvet Lipstick by Bourjois. This is a matte finish. It's an unusual lipstick because it's more like, it's like a souffle. It's like I'm putting souffle on my lips, which might sound a bit funny, but there you go. It's just that gorgeous, true like rosy pink. Not even rosy pink, it's a real just bright pink colour, but I love it because it doesn't dry too dry on the lips, which is unusual for these kind of matte ones, and it's quite a novelty putting it on with that, with the applicator. It's so handy for just touching up, so that's a fab little product. It's around 10 or 11 I think. I'm pretty obsessed with Bourjois lipsticks at the moment. I'll just show you one of the other ones. This is one of the Rouge Edition regular ones, and I have 5 of these now, so I won't show them all now because I am going to do a blog post. But there, this is number 11, which is called Fraise, F-R-A-I-S-E. I think that's just Fraise Remix, number 11. And it's just that gorgeous kind of corally pink. It reminds me a little bit of Impassioned. And these are just like the amplified lipsticks by MAC. They're only €10.49, but I got a buttload of them on the 3 for 2 offer, so I didn't have to spend a huge amount. So that's the end of my beauty favourites. In regards to non-beauty favourites, these wee guys here that I have on my ears, they're little cat earrings. They fit perfectly through my hoops or through my, you know, my tunnels, and they're from Claire's Accessories. They're just the cutest little thing. Again, it was a 3 for 2 on in Claire's Accessories, so I got bigger hoops along with them. I just think these are just the cutest little things. You can see like there's the bum and the front legs and then the head, and then from the front it just looks like a kitty cat, and you can see the little tail. So I'm loving those. Anytime I can get these earrings that fit the tunnels, I'm always really impressed. So I really love those. Then as far as TV goes, I think everyone is saying this, but it's the Game of Thrones series. I'm just loving it. It's just such a good season, and like it's so early on in the season for it to be this good. I'm just dying to see what happens in the rest of the season, and I have all the books, but I'm purposely not reading them because I don't really want to know what happens before I watch the show, and then I'm going to read the books afterwards, if that makes sense. So I don't know if that's a bit geeky or not, but we'll see. And then also Vikings. I've mentioned before I love Vikings. I just love this season again. I just think it's such a good series, and I'm really impressed with it. Then for my like letdowns or beauty like non-favourites, okay, first of all I'm going to start off with these guys, which are dry shampoos. Now I can use the normal Batiste dry shampoo without this is the one for brown hair, and like it does leave a kind of a white residue on my hair, but it works. Like it makes my hair look less greasy and stuff like this. This guy, when I used it, it does work, but the brown, it just kind of makes my hair look dirty, in that like if I touch my hair when it's on, it comes off with brown stuff all over my hands, and I'm a toucher, I'm a hair toucher, so that just isn't ideal. My hands just always look dirty. And then I did wear it one of the days and I didn't wash it out that night, and my pillow was just filthy, so I'm just not a fan of that for that reason. And then this guy here, I was told by a couple of people to try it out because it doesn't leave a residue. It's the Garnier Ultimate Blends 7-in-1 dry shampoo. This is for normal hair, and this what does it say? It instantly cleanses, light I feel. Okay, basically when I use this, for whatever reason, it makes my hair look just as greasy, and I don't know why. So like I've tried using less, I've tried using more, and it just isn't working for me. So that I'm really disappointed with this. Now I really didn't spend much money on it because I got it in Pennies or Primark, but I don't know, it just isn't really working. I've done everything like it says to do, and if anyone has any tips for me, let me know, because I'd love to see what you guys think of that. But it's just not working for me so far, which is kind of a shame. And then my last two kind of letdowns are, first of all, this guy, which I've mentioned before that I didn't like, and I don't hate it, but it's the Illuminating Skin Based Foundation, and I've given it another couple of goes again during the month, and I just have to try too hard to get it to look good. It's just one of those like temperamental foundations, and I don't understand why people rave about absolutely adoring it, because first of all, I have to prep my skin so carefully beforehand, and then there's only like 1 or 2 brushes I can use with it so that it looks good, and then like half the time my pores will look terrible, and then sometimes they won't, but it's just, I don't know, I just don't really love the finish it gives. It's just too, like, the fact that it says the Ultimate Skin Realism Foundation on the back just bugs me, because it's so not. I just think it's such a obvious looking foundation on, and I just don't think my skin looks great when it's on. So yeah, I'm just disappointed with that. I know it can look lovely on some other people, it just doesn't look great on me. So when I am talking about these letdowns, it's that, you know, they don't suit me or I'm not working with them right. It doesn't mean that they're not, you know, that everyone will think they're crap. And then this guy here is the Physicians Formula, what's it called? The Youthful Wear Dark Circle Corrector and Concealer. Now I did talk about this in the Sephora haul that I did after America, so I won't go on about it too much, but I've tried it again a couple of times and I still don't like it for the same reason. It's just that, first of all, the applicator, when you put it on, you still need to use either a brush or your finger to blend it in, which it claims not to have to do, but I just find it's very dry underneath the eye, even no matter how much, like, no matter how much eye cream I put underneath, it still is so dry. And the yellow, I do like the yellow corrector though, that's the only thing I kind of like about it. The yellow corrector for certain areas of the face, but considering it's supposed to be an under eye one for anti-aging, like, you know, to make your wrinkles look less wrinkly, it actually, I think it gives me much more visible like lines and wrinkles than I'd have without it. So I'm gonna have to give this guy a miss. I'm just really disappointed with it. I thought it would be really cool, and it's the only like Physicians Formula product that I really don't like so far, and that's that. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I will be doing another favourites, of course, next month for May, yeah, and in the meantime I'll chat to you all really soon. Slán.